Hello, welcome to Celtic Crossroads from KILT Studios. I'm your presenter, Kenton Adler, Director of Advancement for Scottish Heritage at Lyon College in Batesville, Arkansas. Join me now as we explore an hour of music and story from all corners of the Celtic world. Our show is made possible in part by the Campbell Collection, a generous gift from the estate of the Duke of Earl, the late Robert Louis Campbell of Earl, Arkansas. The collection consists of music and literature now housed in the archives of the Lyon College Mabie Simpson Library, and by the Lyon College Scottish Heritage Program.
So well before. Now I've lost the path that led me down to your door. Breadcrumbs lost forever on the forest floor, and the wolves are circling me. I know there's treasure yet to find, but I must either lose myself or leave you behind. I never meant you any harm at all. Did not think I'd come here just to watch your castle fall by moonlight and by falling snow. I call upon your oath to let me go. I must wrap my world around me, leave you where you are. I can't believe I've lost you after flying half this far. But it was just a stolen season in a lovely house of cards. I thought I knew this game. I thought I'd lure you from your winter wood before I knew your name. It turns out neither one of us is prey, 'cause I'd barely aimed my arrow and you carried me away. We were all the ways that fools rush in. If I could spare the blood, I'd surely winter here again. But they'll be missing me outside. It's been half a stolen season and a roller coaster ride by moonlight and by winter's throne. I call upon your oath to let me go. I would turn at night to hold you as you dream and keep you safe in the way the summer calls upon the winter fall escape. But we've spent a stolen season taking all that we can take. To the magic we have made, but the seasons must turn and the icicles fade. Small wonder we could not withstand the spring, surviving on a diet kisses, wishes bring. Thief that I am, I'll be found out. And your fairy fruit will surely turn to ashes in my mouth. It matters not what riches I have found, 'cause I know too much of leaving to be still and settle down by moonlight and the tears I've known. I call upon your oath to let me go. Sleep will never find me till the morning air has turned. If I can't reach out to hold you in the dark and keep you warm, but it was just a stolen season where we danced a perfect storm. You are only ever playing me for keeps, with a love that's warm and wild while winter sleeps. In all your kingdom I'm the one who'll not be ruled. Spring has come and all I've done is weep. If I'm to steer without your star, I'll have plenty of time for dancing in the dark. But first I have to learn the trick of holding up my head again and flying blind. Even in our dreaming we are running out of time, but it was just a stolen season in a land that wasn't mine. We have fair destroyed each other's souls together, worlds apart. What you call a stolen season was the harvest of my heart. What you call a stolen season was the harvest of my heart.
might be. You'll rise up very early from the clear daylight till dawn. I know you won't be able to plough the rocks of Bon. My shoes, they are all torn, and my stockings, they are thin. My heart is always trembling for the fear they might give in. My heart is always trembling now from the clear daylight till dawn. I know I won't be able to plough the rocks of Bon. My curse upon you, Sweeney boy, you nearly have me robbed. You're sitting by the fireside, your feet upon the hob. You're sitting by the fireside now, you're drooging in your gob. I know you won't be able to plough the rocks of Bon. Rise up, poor gallant Sweeney boy, and feed your horse some hay, and give him a good feed of oats before he starts his day. Don't feed him on soft turnips that you grow out on the ungreen lawn, for I know he won't be able to plough the rocks of Bon. I wish the Sergeant Major he would send for me in time and place me in some regiment to serve my youth and prime. I'd fight for Ireland's glory, boys, from the clear daylight till dawn. I never will return again to plough the rocks of Bon. No, I never will return again to plough the rocks of Bon.
I am Kent Adler. You're listening to Celtic Crossroads, and we just heard from the Kelphenora Cayley Band from the album Now is the Hour with the Rocks of Bon. Prior to that, we heard Dadannon with the Flatbush Waltz from their album A Jacket of Batteries. Just before Dadannon, we heard The She from Murmurations with Highlands and Flatlands, and we opened the program with S.J. Tucker from Stolen Season with the title track Stolen Season. It is a season indeed, the winter season here on the Lyon College campus. We've had a little sleet today, and I think it's going to stay cold for a bit. We're going to try to keep things warm by listening to a little music from the Corries. This is from Spotlight on the Corries, and a tune that's still very relevant today, Parcel of Rogues.
Scottish fair say famed in martial story, new sacrans o'er the Solway sands, Tweedrons to the ocean, te Macquar England's province stands. Such a parcel of rogues in a nation. Oh, would that I had seen the day that treason thus could sell us. My old grey head had lain in clay, with Bruce and loyal Wallace, but pith and power till my last hour, I'll make this declaration: we are bought and sold for English gold. Such a parcel of rogues in a nation.
Julie and little John Tyler lived in the house next door. We would be the great triangle, and to this we swore. Julie was my sweetheart, little John was my cohort, and all the wild horses in the world couldn't keep us apart. Once we went for a swim in the noonday sun, we promised to return before the moon struck. Julie came running through the pasture. She was screaming at the sky. She fell down to her knees, and the tears did fly. Little John was stung by a snake over by the lake, and it looks like he's really, really hurt. He was lying in the dirt. Well, we went as fast as we could run, but we lost little John as the moon struck. I was vacant, Julie was a bird with a broken wing. We were always afraid of what tomorrow might bring. We'll drive down to Durango
If you have ever seen Local Hero, you will recognize that version of the Mist-Covered Mountains as being played by the Cayley band, the Ace Tones, near the end of the film. It was actually performed by Mark Knopfler and is part of the Local Hero soundtrack. Before that, we heard Alan MacDonald from his Piping Center recital series performing his rendition of Duncan McRae of Kentale's Lament. Just before Alan played, we heard Benji Kirkpatrick from the album Boomerang with a tune that was written by the band, Robbie Robertson, Levon Helm, and the rest. And that tune is called The Moon Struck One. And we started off this portion of the program with the Coreys performing Parcel of Rogues. I'm Kent Nadler, and this is Celtic Crossroads coming to you from Lyon College in Batesville, Arkansas. And now we're going to have a little spot of poetry. Autumnal Fire by Randy Welch. Golden leaves rustle on the far edge of twilight. Sullen breezes murmuring melancholy, calling forth colliding notions, reigniting the fire to rewarm my dampened spirit and recalibrate my restless soul. Autumn sinks into motion thus, a dance of shadows on these stark city walls, sketching the form of a delicate whisper, summoned by the moon. My eyes diffuse the iridescence as the skeletal silhouettes of leafless limbs cast visual hallucinations beneath the street lamp flicker, and these red-orange ghosts swirl like drunken dervishes in the wind.
Stories of our rivers of renown, and I feel a real excitement when the Cooper's coming down, for the land has turned the corner and the pastures will improve, with old timers optimistic when the Cooper's on the move. So I heard it's coming down again, if information's right. And put aside your worries for this watery delight. It may not be the Ganges or the Amazon or Nile, but when the Cooper's on the go, you'll see the outback smile. The Cooper's coming down, the Cooper's coming down. The pelicans will muster when the Cooper's coming down. The northern storms are bountiful for nature's brimming cup. When Huey sends the raindrops down, the Cooper laps it up. The landscape has a shining face, so celebrate the scene. The kangaroos are spotless, the goannas nice and clean. The Cooper's coming down, the Cooper's coming down. The pelicans will muster when the Cooper's coming down. The Cooper's coming down, the Cooper's coming down. The pelicans will muster when the Cooper's coming down. I grow a little weary of the city's frantic theme, and I feel a sudden yearning for a river reaches gleam. I will pack my swag and hasten from this petrol-fuming town, and and go dancing with the brogers when the Cooper's coming down. The Cooper's coming down, the Cooper's coming down. I'll go dancing with the brogers when the Cooper's coming down. The Cooper's coming down, the Cooper's coming down. I'll go dancing with the brogers when the Cooper's coming down.
I can forget the time or place where we just met. She's just the girl for me.
and I want all the world to see we've met. La-da-da-da-da. Well, had it been another day, I might have looked the other way, and I would never be nowhere. But as it is, I dream of her tonight. La-da-da-da-da-da. I'm falling, yes, I'm falling, and she keeps calling me back again. I have never known the likes of this. I've been alone and I've missed things and kept out of sight. And other girls, they never quite like this. La-da-da-da-da. I'm falling, yes, I'm falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes, I'm falling, and she keeps calling me back again. I've just seen the face, I can't forget the time or place where we just met. She's just the girl for me, and I want all the world to see we've met. La-da-da-da-da-da. Falling, yes, I'm falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes, I'm falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes, I'm falling, and she keeps calling me back again. Me back again. Me back again.
I am a country chappie and I'm serving at Polnon, a ferm near to Eaglesham, that fine old-fashioned tune, where with the milk each morning, a little after 3, we take the road together, that old black horse and me. We cheeks in red and rosy, and in see bonny blue, we'll dance and glance, and she pierced me through and through. She fairly won my fancy, and she stole away my hair, riding into Glasgow on the Sir Milk. The other morning, early as the barlin we did pass, I happened to forget her wi' a braw young country lass. Says, I'm a braw young lassie, and are you gone my heart? I would drive you into Glasgow and my Sir Milk care. We cheeks see red and rosy, and in see bonny blue, I'll dance and glance, and she pierced me through and through. She fairly won my fancy, and she stole away my hair, riding into Glasgow on the Sir Milk. I raised her up beside me, and we soon got on the crack. I slipped my arm around her waist as by my side she sat, and I telled the old stories as the woods around us rang, with the lilting of the mavis and the blackbird she sang. With cheeks red and rosy, and in see bonny blue, I'll dance and glance, and she pierced me through and through. She fairly won my fancy, and she stole away my hair, riding into Glasgow on the Sir Milk. I've heard the lords and ladies making love in shady bowers, and who they wouldn't want among the roses and the flowers. I'll never forget that morning that we cubed through his dirt, and mad me pop the question on the Sir Milk. We cheeks red and rosy, and in see bonny blue, a dancing lance, and she pierced me through and through. She fairly won my fancy, and she stole away my hair, riding into Glasgow on the Sir Milker. Well, her parents, he consented, the next term time comes around. I'm going to buy a harness plate and a brand new silken gown. We're settling to get married just about next August fire, and now our old acquaintances, I hope to see them there. Her cheeks are red and rosy and insy bonny blue. Oh, dancing lance, and she pierced me through and through. She fairly won my fancy, and she stole away my hair, riding into Glasgow on the Sir Milker. The lass that never had the hurl in a carriage o'er her days. See, when the top proposed we hear coach and pair of greys. Now can she the silver skirt, you can make any spirit. I rather hae the juggling of your Sir Milker. With cheeks red and rosy and insy bonny blue. Dancing lance, and she pierced me through and through. She fairly won my fancy, and she stole away my hair, riding into Glasgow on the Sir Milker.
And that was the Sir Milker from Jock Thompson's Bairns, the album Rare. Before that we heard the Paperboys from the album Molinos and I've Just Seen a Face, classic Beatle tune off of Rubber Soul. And just before the Paperboys we heard Breda Campbell from Carry Them With Us and Banish the Giant of Doubt and Despair. And we started off this portion of the program with Penny Davies and Roger Eilert with When the Cooper's Coming Down. You've been listening to Celtic Crossroads, and I'm Kenton Adler, come to you every week from the campus of Lyon College in Batesville, Arkansas. I hope you've enjoyed the program. We're going to close things out with Murin Bradley and Buck Dancer's Choice, and we hope we see you again here next time at the Crossroads.